Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of St. Charles Borromeo. St. Charles is also known as the visionary reformer of the Catholic Church and the patron saint of seminarians and priests. He was born on October 2nd, 1538, in the small town of Arona in Italy. His father was Count Gilbert Borromeo, who came from the wealthy Borromeo clan in Italy, and his mother, Margaret de' Medici, was the sister of Pope Pius V. When he was young, Charles was known to be serious-minded. He was also devoted to his faith and was often drawn to prayer. When he was 12 years old, his father passed on to him the income of the Benedictine abbey, which was owned by the family. This money was huge and he could have used it for luxury. But Charles told his father he didn't need the money and instead gave the money to the poor. He then went to University of Pavia to pursue his studies and finished civil and canon law at the age of 21. Around this time, in 1559, his uncle, the brother of his mother, was elected to the papacy and became Pope Pius IV. He was then summoned to the Vatican and was appointed as the cardinal deacon of the Archdiocese of Milan. Despite his opposition, he accepted the task, for he was also the only qualified person to lead the diocese because of his intellectual knowledge and spiritual maturity. When he arrived in Milan, Charles found the diocese was in total chaos. He saw the parishes were neglected, the people never went to church anymore, and the faith was declining. The reason for all these, he said, was that the priests were untrained and so ignorant of the church's teachings, and they lacked moral and spiritual discipline. This was because back in the day, becoming a priest was remarkably easy. Anyone with good moral character could be appointed and be ordained the next day. No need for training or education. So Charles reformed the church and established standards for the clergy. He then founded the first seminary in the Catholic Church in 1564. It was an institution dedicated to philosophical and theological education of young men who aspire to holy orders or priesthood. This change finally brought a huge transformation within the clergy of the Catholic Church, and this seminary he founded still stands today. In 1576, Italy was struck by plague. There was a famine and the crops in the fields failed to grow. People got sick and others were dying on the streets. Many leaders left the city, but Charles remained. He organized clinics to care for the sick and even used his family's money to buy food for the poor. He even walked on the streets to bless the sick and the dead bodies. His courage and compassion inspired the city and strengthened the faith of its people. On November 3, 1584, Charles died in Milan at the age of 46. His funeral drew thousands of crowds, mourning the man who had given everything for God and his people. In 1610, Pope Paul V canonized him as a saint. Today his body is resting in the crypt located inside the Basilica of Milan in Italy, and his feast day is celebrated every 4th of November. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.